What's good? Hey, so after a few months of having for a few months, I mean, I've been having it since it came out, the MXR Synth pedal, not necessarily a review. I mean, it's a dope pedal, but I will say, let me show you what my setup is, and it's kind of janky right now, and you're gonna see my socket foot, as my grandmother used to say. This is my current setup. I'm not a pedal board guru, expert, or nothing like that. This is how I rock on a regular basis. Polytune, the MXR compressor, octave pedal, envelope filter, and the synth. Because for me in my life, my playing life, this is, the stuff that I need the most, or that I would use. That's the most practical stuff, right? So I'm going to say about this guy, this is less of a on the fly kind of a pedal than these two. You can, what I'm saying? You can get stuff, usable sounds. What just happened to the camera? You can get usable sounds pretty quickly. Sorry about that. You can get usable sounds pretty quickly out of this stuff, right off the fly. So anyway, I have a gig coming tomorrow. And this guy, I don't even know the cat's name, but he's got some dope music. And the first tune that he sent me, I was like, oh, you know what? This is a cool opportunity to fool around with the pedal. So let me let you hear it just a little bit. And I'm so bad that I don't know this brother's name off the top of my head. That's just, and as a matter of fact, he just flew into town. He just sent a text a little while ago saying that he was in town. So, but I'm just getting back in town myself. So anyway. So let's go back over here real quick. Let's go back over here. One of the things about this pedal is that this thing will flip your wig back. If you like, I think when you get a new piece of technology, you gotta like really spend some time with it and learn it, because it can be a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you fool around and blow your stuff up if you're not careful. So the compressor in the front is evening out everything, right? So I'm going to turn that on. And for me, I don't really have a lot of presets set, because I don't play in a lot of situations where I really just kind of need all the time. But what I would recommend is that you practice with this and you get sounds dialed in. So that's let's see how close I got to tune. I think I'm pretty close. I think I'm pretty doggone close. So let me cut y'all ears a little bit of slack. What's up, James? Yeah, man, hit me up, man. You know where I'm at. You know where to find me. Consider becoming a Groove School member as well, bro. So I just took out. you know, people have talked about tracking. Excuse me. Man, I was around my little godson, over Christmas. And that little sucker was, you know, he had a little tickle in his throat. And I think I got the tickle. Boy, Preston John, if I get sick, it's going to be me and you, Doc. Just kidding. Oh, James says he's got the head rush. I'm not familiar with that, but man, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I would really like to try out the anagram, but I mean, that thing is kind of cost prohibitive at the moment, and I literally just bought a new MacBook. So again, for the new folks, here's my particular, and yes, you know, a little bit of a plug for Dunlop strings because people have asked me what I use. I've been rocking Dunlops for years. This is what I'm rocking on this bass right now: 45 to 125, the super bright nickel wounds. But I've been dealing with Dunlop since 2006. I've played other strings, but you know, I'm really, really comfortable with these. So tuner, compressor, octave, envelope, synth. There it is. And after all this, you know, after these, you know, what, 6 months, 7 months, something like that, it's still a very, very useful pedal. My thoughts on it are the same as they were in the original sort of unboxing and honest review. And that is, I do not believe a pedal can replace it. I don't think a pedal can fully replace a keyboard. However, if you are out, if you're doing weddings, bar gigs, if you're doing, you know, if all the things I said in the original video when I first made the original, you know, first take of the pedal, it doesn't come off the board. It's incredibly useful. Now, my man is out on doing a Vegas residency. Will Brickhead is out with J-Lo at Caesars, I think. So he's made, like, he's been like the #1 brand ambassador for this pedal since it came out. And he's got like super, super deep dives, you know, a lot of content on Instagram. But I know he's probably going to come out with something when he is done. He's probably got some content. But for me, I think it's a pedal that you really need to get to know. And to that, I've got a Synth Bass Cookbook that is linked in the description. It's, you know, it's $10 where you can get it. But you gotta. You gotta play with it. But the tracking, I think that also depends on the bass, you know? I'm really, you know, really impressed with it. So, like this cutoff right here, as the name suggests, in a live setting, if I, you know, you come down, as you turn that cutoff, right? You're cutting out the frequency. So if you're in like in the moment kind of thing, and you need to, you know, cut through, go to that cutoff. Now there's a secondary layer. Yes, you can. Excellent says, isn't there a, you can. And I think the default setting is for 5-string, I think. But you can go into the secondary layer. And I don't really want to get into that right now, but you can go into the secondary layer, and there's a lot more settings that you can get. What I think, I could be wrong, and that would be okay, is I think that, you know, the hype around the pedal was, let me get the pedal and it's just supposed to sound and do everything that I want to do right out of the gate. And for some people that was the case, and for some people, like, nah, you got to spend a little time with it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but I think it's also a byproduct of this sort of, you know, microwave instant gratification space that we are in as humans. So, you know, here's another one from Wayne. I find I lose high end when I use the pedal. Can I get that? Yeah, you can. So, and I think what you're talking about is what I was just kind of showing. So this cutoff knob cuts frequencies, right? That's some, you know. You see that? You see how I cut that? The cutoff is like sort of like what it says on the box, right? And I'm not trying to be a smart ass here, but cool, man, cool. So like, let's say you're on you're in the moment, right? Like, I'll do a lot of pickup gigs where I'm just like there's a group in town called Jamilton. Joe Hamilton is the guy's name, but he's got this thing called Jamilton. And what, you know, like, there's some tunes, gosh, I probably can't play this right now. I can't play it because I don't even remember. How does it go? Like, I have, you know, I tried to use it like kind of on the fly, and just like I was like, ah, shit, how does that go? But I couldn't dial it, you know, just in the nature of the environment that we were in. I just couldn't fool around with it. So I just went, you know, I just turned it off. It depends on the situation. You know what I mean? It depends on the situation, but if that were a tune that I played all the time, number one, I would play it better than I did just now. But number two, I would go on and dial in a sound. You know what I mean? I would dial in a sound and save it as a preset. That's what I would do. You dig? But dialing it in on the fly is a little bit tricky. But I just wanted to, I do have to get back in the shed on these tunes because it's a lot of tunes. One of the tunes we're playing, I think, is Stratus, and I haven't played Stratus in years, and the gig is tomorrow night. So I'm going to be, me and Songmaster Pro are going to be doing our thing to get Stratus back under my fingers. But again, just for the new folks, tuner, compressor, octave. I don't know why I keep stuttering when I go to say octave. Tuner, compressor, octave, filter, synth. That's my current setup. If somebody else has if you've got a setup that works for you, share it in the comments, share it with the Bassheads community, because somebody else is going to get value out of it. And that somebody could be me. All right. So, I try, I try not to pretend like I'm an expert on all things. I know what works for me, right? Like I always say, it ain't the way, but it's definitely a way. What's my man over here saying? Yeah, I mean, look, I think whatever pedal you get, I don't care what it is. All these things are ultimately tools. And what I have found for both myself and when I've seen other musicians kind of get new technologies, I think that you have to learn the new tech as though it is another instrument. And then also be prepared for something to go wrong, because something always kind of goes wrong at some point, and the show must go on, right? Do you go into the effects loop or directly into your amp? Fantastic, Brother Bribe. That's a fantastic question. I go straight from the pedal board right to the amp. You know what I mean? Straight into my amp. I've always done that. I've rarely used the effects loop. And dude, I'm going to tell you how little I've done that. I didn't even realize that my head had an effects loop on it. And I've been using the same AG700 since it came out. I got two of them. I've been using them since they came out. So yeah, that was a fantastic question. But the answer to that question is new. So you're saying, James, you're saying that the, what you call it, the head rush? So I'm not familiar with the head rush at all. Again, to be honest and fair, I am, kind of a creature of habit. I would like to try the anagram, but, it's and I got some connects, but it's harder to get, because everybody's got to watch their budgets and all of that stuff. I would love to get my hands on one to do a review at some point. But I know that they'll only have a limited number of like artists, do a video or do some content, send that shit back. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of the economy and all that stuff. I tangented there. I'm sorry. Creature of habit. I've been using the same Dunlop pedals for a long time. I got a gang of pedals, but it's all like real basic shit. Real basic stuff. Very, very basic. Very, 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 very basic. Anyway, I hope that y'all had a great Christmas. I do need to get back in the shed. I'm really pleased with how the streams are coming out, and I feel like we're back on a professional level. So there's some new videos in the can, a lot of new live stream content coming. I'm trying to get a special guest on when we start doing interviews again. I just got to see what his schedule is like, but you're not going to want to miss that. And I'll let you know as that starts to take shape, because it'll be super insightful on a lot of different levels. All right. If I don't see you until next year, I want to thank you again for everybody who has continued to come back to this channel, subscribed, a member, if you're a Groove School member, all that, man. If you've rocked with me on any level on this channel, I appreciate you. It's been a year of grinding and learning and refining and all that stuff. So I really appreciate you. I hope you had a good Christmas. Happy New Year. I wish you more love, joy, and prosperity, so much that you got to give some away because you can't hold it all for yourself. All right? It ain't rocket science, y'all. It's pocket science. I'm going to catch you next year. Peace. 2 fingers.